What's going on, guys? Pegasus from the Wise Guys. I appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Make sure you sub, make sure you hit the bell. I finally linked up with the homeboy Rawsangan'S, the master of the Fluffals. I've been wanting to feature a bunch of rogue decks as well as a bunch of control decks. But I also wanted to feature some of the cool decks, the cool people that play these decks, and have really pushed these decks beyond their limits, because, you know, Fluffal is a rogue deck. But this dude is really, really good with this deck. I'm going to stop talking. I'm out. Make sure y'all sub to Rawsangan'S, and I'll see you when I see you.
Yo, am I in Team Wise Guys channel? Let me look at you guys. You guys look like some intelligent subscribers. And because you guys are so smart, I'm going to tell you guys my secret. Who am I? I'm Rawsangan'S. And if you guys don't know who I am, you guys should check out my channel. The link will be down below. And also, because you guys are some wise guys, I'm gonna give you my secret, my Fluffal deck profile. And it's not for the average player. So that's why I'm giving it to Team Wise Guy. Because like I said, you guys look like intelligent players. So if it sounds interesting, let's go check out this deck profile. All right, so we play 3 Fluffal dogs. Dog lets you search a Fluffal monster from your deck to your hand, or an Edgem Sabers. We play 3 Fluffal penguins. Fluffal penguin, when he's on the field, you can special summon a Fluffal monster from your hand. That's a soft once per turn. His hard once per turn effect is if his fusion summon for a Fluffal monster, you draw 2 cards and discard 1. We play 2 Fluffal bears. Bears, you can discard it from your hand to the graveyard to set a toy vendor. Then, if he's on the field, you can tribute himself to grab a polymerization from your graveyard to your hand, but you can only activate 1 effect per turn. We only play 1 Fluffal wings, and there's a giant reason for it. A lot of the normal builds play 2 or 3. This current format, 1 is plenty. And if you guys want to know more, just go check out my channel. I go more in deep with Fluffals. So I play one Fluffal sheep. So Fluffal sheep, if you control a Fluffal monster, you can special summon him. Then you can activate his effect to bounce a Fluffal monster, other Fluffal monster to your hand, and special summon an Edgem monster from the hand or graveyard. And I just remember I didn't explain wings effect. Oh, got the wrong one. So Fluffal wings, when Fluffal wins in the graveyard and you control a face-up toy vendor, you can banish it and another Fluffal monster to draw 2 cards and send toy vendor to the graveyard. And toy vendor has a broken effect, but we'll get there when we get there. So we play 1 Fluffal owl. He searches polymerization, or you can pay 500 life points, and basically you can fusion summon from your hand or field. It basically plays around Imperial Order and Anti-Spell Fragrance. So we play 1 Fluffal Dolphin. Fluffal Dolphin, when you have a toy vendor in the graveyard, you can set it. Then you can send a Fluffal monster from your deck to the graveyard, or an Edgem Sabers. So majority of the time we're sending Fluffal wings. And if Fluffal wings are in the graveyard, we send the Sabers. So we play 3 Edgem Chain. So Chain, when he goes from the field to the graveyard or hand to the graveyard, you can search a Fryford spell card or trap card. You search any Fryford card. And when he attacks, he can search himself. But like again, you can only activate 1 effect per turn. You can play. We play 1 Edgem Sabers. Basically, he's like Play Spreader. Is in a graveyard, you put a card on top of your deck to special summon them in defense mode. Of course, you can only do it once per turn. So we played 3 Edgem Scythe. He's basically the hand trap in his deck. So on your opponent's main phase, you can fusion summon, basically kind of like Owl. So you use him and you use another Fluffal monster to make a Fryford card. And if a Fryford monster will get destroyed, you can banish it to protect it, and you can only activate each effect once per turn. So because this is a Dragon Link format, we played 3 Drone Lockbirds. Drone Lockbirds is just really good against like a lot of the meta decks right now, and we just don't want to lose to Dragon Link. So mainly 3, I feel like that's probably the better hand trap at this format. It kind of, if sometimes it does inflict when you say you have Egypt Sabers, not Sabers, Egypt Scythe and Penguin, because you can't draw because you're locked down to draw. But you know, benefits of playing good cards, or downfall. So we played 1 Artifact Scythe. This deck, Abuse Scythe, so good, just because one of the Fryper cards that we make with Fryper Scythe, Agent Scythe, sorry. So we played 3 Toy Vendor. Toy Vendor, its effect is when it hits the graveyard, you get to search a Fluffal monster or Agent Sabers. Its other effect is you can send a card from your hand to the graveyard, draw a card. And if it's a Fluffal monster, you can special summon any card from your hand. If it's not, it goes to the graveyard. So we played 3 Foolish Goods. We're sending Toy Vendors just so we can get that search effect. We played 3 Fryfer Patchwork. It lets you search an Agent monster and a Polymerization. You have to grab both. So if all 3 polys are in your hand or in the graveyard, you can't activate Patchwork. You have to get both. So you play 3 Polymerization. It's a fusion deck. What else? 1 Fryfer Fusion. Fryfer Fusion is you can banish cards from the field or from your graveyard to special summon a Fryfer monster. 3 Forbidden Droplets. So I feel like everybody knows what this card does, and if you don't, it's basically you send cards from the field or hand to the graveyard to negate monster's effect, and if you send a monster, they cannot negate it with a monster. If you set a monster in a spell, they can't negate droplet with spells cards or monsters effects. And if you guys can't afford droplets, a good substitution is Super Poly. Super Poly works really good with the deck. Like again, this is a fusion deck, and also it's a really good card to break boards. So the main deck has 40 cards. For the extra, we played 3 Whales. Fryfer Whale, when he's fusion summoned, you can activate his effect. He doesn't target. Make sure you guys remember this. Whale does not target. So you select a card from your side of the field and your opponent's side of the field, and you destroy them. His second effect is you can target a fusion monster and send a Fryfer card from your extra deck or graveyard. Extra deck or deck to the graveyard, and it gains half of his original attack. So we play 1 Fryfer Kraken. Kraken has 3 effects. You can send a card from the field, opponent's side of the field. You can send a monster card from your opponent's side of the field to the graveyard, but if he does that, he can't attack directly. This copy. He can attack twice, and at the end of the battle phase, you can switch him to defense mode. But a lot of the times when we use Kraken's effect, we're fusing him away for Sabertooth. Sabertooth's effect is you get to bring back one of your Fryfer monsters from the graveyard, and all Fryfer monster gains 400 attack. And if you use a Fryfer card or you have to use a Fryfer fusion monster. But if you use like 2 Fluffal monster or 2 Edgimp or 1 Edgimp and 1 Fluffal, basically if he was summoned by using three cards, he can't be destroyed by battle or by card effect. Okay, so when Sabertooth hits the field, we're gonna spring back Kraken, and say we use Kraken's effect already. So he's considered a new copy, so now he can attack you directly. So we play 1 Fryfer Tiger. Basically, for how many cards we use to make him, he gets to pop that many cards, and he gives all your Fryfer monsters 300 attack for each Fluffal or Fryfer monster on the field. So for your exceeds, you play True King of all Calamace. It's one of the words I can never pronounce, and it's the card that I go to the most. super simple to make. Whale is level 9. So you just make 2 whales and you make this guy and you guys win. You make 1 tornado dragon because sometimes you don't have the scythe to pop you don't have the edge of scythe to pop the artifact scythe. So we make tornado dragon and make sure that stuff resolved. You play 1 totally awesome. You guys are asking probably, how do you make totally awesome with this deck? We play 1 Bahamut shark. You use penguin and dolphin to make shark. We play 1 artifact Dangda. We set the scythe. All the requirement is just 2 monster with different names. We play 1 Apollosa, 1 cross sheep, and I side super poly, so I still have this in an extra deck. Starting Venom and Mud Dragon. It's your guys' choice if you guys want to put them in an extra deck. So when you side in poly, and if you guys don't want to play this, you guys can play 2 Sabertooth and 2 Krakens instead, or you can go for Hope Harbinger. He's a exceed 8, basically negates a spell card, and you have to attack him. I believe that's his name, Hope Harbinger. But yeah, let me know how you guys like this deck profile on the comments down below. Make sure you guys check out my channel, Rawsangan'. Also check out my shop at www.rawsangan.com. We got some cool Fluffal merchandise you guys can buy. But yeah,